Amidst the rumblings of political intrigue and heartbreak, there is a stunning and captivating figure in Scottish history, Mary, Queen of Scots. With eyes radiating determination and a heart entwined with courage, Mary walked through the slippery and challenging halls of power. In a life filled with tragedy and betrayal, her name is a ray of hope in the midst of darkness. Let's explore the epic tales of Mary, Queen of Scots. As soon as the morning dawned on December 8, 1542, at Linlithgow Palace, which was chosen as a very historical birthplace. Amidst the falling snow, the world witnessed the birth of a princess who would shake the Scottish throne. That was the day Mary Stuart first breathed free air in this world. However, fate had intervened in a very cruel way. Her father, King James V, famed for battle and formidable strength, was summoned by death before the little princess's eyes could meet his face. In crushing silence, the throne of Scotland fell into the lap of Mary, who was not even 6 days old. No one knows what will be her fate, but help arrives from a faraway land. Amidst the political concerns and struggles that engulfed the Scottish monarchy, wise Scottish nobles arranged for Mary, in her little tenderness, to be brought to France, the proud land of King Henry II. In France, Mary found refuge as well as countless lessons. Not only is she a revered princess, but she is also destined to be united with a prince who will become King of France. Before the resplendent altar, with prayers echoing in the cathedrals, Mary and Francis, Dauphin of France, pledged the inseparable bond of holy marriage. Within the strength of this alliance, a bright future loomed for Mary. She became the hope of Scotland and France, tying thrones together with mighty ties. However, the world is often full of unexpected ironies, and a future that seems so bright can turn into a hurricane that shakes everything up. After years in France, Mary, the blessed and free-spirited queen, felt the calling of her native land calling her back. In the dark hours following her husband's death, Mary sailed across the blue sky on her ship, headed for a long-awaited destination, Scotland. When she returned to her homeland, she realized that Scotland had changed. Political instability engulfs the kingdom, with nobles facing each other in endless ambitions and feuds. Scotland during the reign of Mary, Queen of Scots, became a battlefield filled with blood and tension. Religion has become a sword that destroys unity and tears the soul of the nation. The division between Catholics and Protestants had created an abyss, threatening to plunge the kingdom into chaos. Mary, a devout queen, adhered to her belief in the ancient Catholic religion. However, the wave of the Protestant Reformation had shaken Scotland, stirring up anger and animosity among the Protestants who had risen in power and abundance. Meanwhile, Mary's staunch supporters, the Catholics, looked to her as the last hope for restoring their fading religion. The dominant Protestant party, especially the power-hungry aristocrats, saw Mary as a threat to deal with. They fought to liberate Scotland from the influence of the Catholic Church, which they saw as colonialists. The fires of division grew even more as Mary attempted to revive the glory of the Catholic religion and dominate the hearts and minds of her people. The bloody tensions between the adherents of the Catholic and Protestant religions created horror and destruction throughout the land. Churches were plundered and destroyed, the Holy Land became a blood-stained battlefield. The fanatical armies confront each other, fighting each other with deep hatred. In this endless war, souls guided by religious beliefs are plunged into uncertainty and despair. Mary, in the middle of a bloody battlefield, is caught in a fierce battle to maintain her power. In this dark and dangerous world, she stands as a symbol for those who believe in the Catholic religion, fighting for their religious freedom which is being threatened by the Protestant rebels. But her struggles are filled with betrayals, unexpected attacks, and painful defeats. The challenges Mary faced in keeping her throne were more than political. She is caught in a battle between conflicting beliefs, where faith and blood flow as a high price. But fate will not give up so easily. With a strong heart and unwavering determination, Mary kept on fighting, leading with unquenchable grit. In an effort to strengthen her position as ruler of Scotland and strengthen her claim to the English throne, which was then in the hands of her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I, on the 29th of July 1565 at the Royal Chapel, Holyrood Palace, Edinburgh, Mary decided to marry Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. However, a second marriage with Lord Darnley that started with high dreams and ambitions turned into an inevitable nightmare. When Mary looked at Darnley, she saw a bright future and unstoppable power. However, the man she chooses as a life partner is a disguise from the darkness that shackles her. Darnley, with his unstable character and weak leadership, became a source of instability and chaos in Mary's life. However, fate holds a terrible secret. Mary learns of a plan to kill her loyal advisor, David Rizzio, which was carried out by her own husband. In an instant, Mary's world came crashing down, and their relationship fell apart. But that was only the beginning of a bigger tragedy. That unforgettable night at Kirkfield Castle saw a powerful explosion rock Scotland. Darnley's mangled body lies in the palace gardens, raising chilling suspicions about Mary's role in her husband's murder. Rumors of an illicit relationship between Mary and James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell, further strengthened these suspicions. In despair and confusion, Mary made a controversial decision. In 1567, just 3 months after the death of her second husband, she married Bothwell, the man suspected of being behind Darnley's murder. Their marriage was the subject of controversy, drawing condemnation and outrage from the Scottish royals who refused to recognize Mary's possession. The madness that swept through Scotland intensified. Mary, once seen as a queen with a big soul, is now plunged into isolation and suffering. The royals and Elizabeth I, Queen of England, saw her as a threat that had to be conquered. And finally, in the fierce Battle of Carberry Hill, Mary and her loyal followers were defeated by a force seeking her destruction. She was arrested, separated from the power she once held and trapped in a cold and miserable prison. In despair and uncertainty, Mary fled her beloved homeland and sought refuge in England, under the protection of Queen Elizabeth I. She hoped to find sanctuary and enlist the support of her powerful cousins. However, what should be a sanctuary turns into an unexpected detention. Queen Elizabeth I, who at first seemed friendly towards Mary, saw her as a political threat. Elizabeth saw Mary as a potential contender for the English throne, with strong hereditary claims and support from several quarters at home. Elizabeth's suspicions and worries mount, leading her to make a decision that changes Mary's destiny forever. In heartbreaking exile, Mary was imprisoned in various castles and forts in England, under strict surveillance. For nearly 19 years, she lived in bitter exile and unjust imprisonment. The freedom and honor she once enjoyed as a queen was whittled away, replaced by a wall of cold and emptiness that surrounded her. Even though she was in detention, Mary's spirit of resistance never died. She resisted with ingenuity and tenacity, trying to seduce and win Elizabeth's heart and ask for her freedom. However, her hopes were always dashed when Elizabeth refused and defended Mary as a political prisoner who constantly threatened her position and power. In the prison darkness that envelops Mary, the world outside her cell plots a daring resistance. She becomes the focal point of the plot, and plans are devised to free her from her unjust imprisonment and overthrow Queen Elizabeth I from the English throne. However, her tragic fate will be marked by one of history's most famous and devastating plots, the Babington Plot. The plot is orchestrated by a group of nobles and activists who are committed to returning Mary to rightful power. They planned a series of actions, including the kidnapping and murder of Queen Elizabeth, in hopes of replacing her with Mary as the officially recognized ruler. This plan was carefully devised and executed in the utmost secrecy, as if it were a beacon of light in the darkness that enveloped Mary. However, fate had other plans. This plan is revealed and Elizabeth knows everything. She takes decisive action to destroy the plot and defend his fragile throne. A tragic decision was made. Mary had to pay a bitter price for trying to set her free. On February 8, 1587, Fotheringhay Castle witnessed the sad end in Mary's life. With head held high and determination unwavering, she was faced with execution, which ended her struggle. Despite being trapped in the shackles of betrayal and political intrigue, Mary maintained her dignity and courage in her final moments. The execution of Mary Stuart was a shocking and world-shaking moment. A queen who once ruled, a woman seen as a political threat, has left this world. Yet, her legacy lives on, burning in the memory and inspiration to many who view her as a symbol of fortitude and courage. In a tragic ending, Mary Stuart leaves this world with an indelible mark. She became a symbol of struggle, heroism and determination in the face of a harsh destiny. Mary's death reveals the complexities of politics and intrigue that plagued the era, but it also reminds us of the human power to endure the toughest trials.